Millwright Manual, Chapter 7 and page 35, Estimating Safe Working Loads. You must consider the safe working load of a sling, whether it's be a chain sling or a wire rope sling, before attempting any lift. And it helps to know the weight of the load before moving it, and the weight of the load is based on density of material that you are moving. Once you sized a sling for the job, you should never exceed the safe working load of that particular sling. Manufacturers rate their ropes by their breaking strength, and basically what it means, it will break at 5 tons if the rope is rated at 5 tons. If you're lifting materials and equipment, the sling must be rated at 5 times the load, which means if you're lifting 1 ton equipment, the rope must be rated at 5 tons. When I'm lifting people, that factor changes to 1 to 10. For example, if I'm lifting a 100-pound person, then the breaking strength of the rope should be 1,000 pounds. In building elevators, that factor increases even more, and it's 1 to 20. If you don't know the breaking strength of a rope you're using, there are simple rules to calculate its safe working load. A rule of thumb for synthetic web sling is that 1-inch wide synthetic web sling will support 1,600 pounds. Therefore, 2-inch wide synthetic web sling will support 3,200 pounds, and 3-inch web sling will support 4,800 pounds. For wire rope, this rule of thumb is slightly different in that a wire rope of 3/8-inch diameter will support 1 ton or 2,000 pounds, but each 1/8 increase in diameter is equals to 1 ton increase in safe working load. And you can see in the example given, if I have a 1/2-inch wire rope, I know that 3/8-inch wire rope supports 1 ton, and 1/8 increase in diameter supports another ton. Therefore, my 1/2-inch wire rope will support 2 tons. Please keep in mind that both of these rules apply only in a single vertical hitch, and this is the picture of a single vertical hitch. This is the picture of the vertical hitch, not the choker or the baskets. The slings are rated as well at other combinations, but the rules of thumb apply only to vertical hitch as in this picture here. Some things to consider when using a fiber rope for lifting is that a knot can reduce the breaking strength of fiber rope by 50%, which means if I'm using a fiber rope and there is a knot anywhere on the length of the fiber rope, then the capacity or the safe working load is reduced by half or 50%. And another thing to consider is that cable clips correctly attached to wire rope reduce its breaking strength by 20%. So if I have a length of wire rope and I just cut it from a spool to make a sling, and I'm using clips to make the sling, so these are the clips, even though if they're installed properly, the safe working load of this wire rope is reduced by 20%. Safe working load of slings, or in other words, rated capacity of a sling, and it's the safe working load of any material, rope, webbing, and it refers to the load which the sling will safely lift while it's being used as a single vertical hitch And here's an example of a single vertical hitch right here. You will see 4,800 pounds. So this sling, it's a web sling. It's rated at 4,800 pounds as a single vertical hitch. And you will see that as a choker in this combination, it's rated less. It's rated at 3,800 pounds. This information on the recommended sling angle is missing from your current manuals, but I'm going to use the old Alberta manual and explain the recommended sling angle. The recommended angle for sling legs is 60 degrees. So as you can see in the picture, each leg is positioned at 60 degree to horizontal line. The best way to pick this load would be to have a spreader bar on the end of the hook and then two slings going down to the pick points. But in some or many situations, you are rigging equipment or a load and trying to balance it at the same time with only two slings on the end of the hook. And therefore you should set the legs of the sling at 60 degree to horizontal, because we are aware that the load factor at 60 degree to horizontal is only 1.155, and that's the maximum load factor recommended, or that's the load factor formed by slings of equilateral triangle, as you see in the picture here. There's also a practical application that many use in the field, and we'll be showing you a short video on how this is applied.
The result is that at 60 degrees horizontal sling angle, the sling tension is multiplied by 1.15. At 45 degrees, the tension is multiplied by 1.41. And at 30 degrees horizontal sling angle, the tension is multiplied by 2. These facts lead us to recognize the best practice for selecting proper sling angles. For multiple leg bridles, whether the connection is directly to the load with hardware or choker and basket hitches, a horizontal sling angle of 60 degrees is the angle of choice. This is because the multiplier is only 1.15, the side or angular load on the load connections is limited, and the crushing load is minimal. A tool to use to verify that the slings are rigged to 60 degrees is to remember that a 60-degree sling angle is formed when an equilateral triangle is created. This means that the sling length will be equal to the distance between pick points. It is also useful to remember that increasing the sling length will increase the horizontal sling angle and improve the rigging situation.
As you saw in the video, the rigger was using the same sling to find the pick point. So what he did is he guesstimated where the center of the I-beam was, and then he takes two slings of the same length and he wraps one sling as a choker around this end, for example, and then he takes the rest of the sling, whatever is left after choking it on the I-beam, he lays it down, and then he finds another pick point for the same length of the sling, for the second sling. So then he puts a choker at that particular point, and after he finds another pick point, so he's got two pick points now, then he will lift both ends of these slings and will try to place it on the hook above his head. By doing this, he just created an equilateral triangle, and each leg of this sling is going to be 60 degree to horizontal. At this point, please go ahead with calculating safe working load of basket hitch, and then two-leg bridle hitch, choker hitches, and double basket hitches. This is self-explanatory. You just need to do a little bit of practice to understand how to calculate safe working load of different hitches. Once you calculate the safe working load of a two-leg bridle hitch, be aware that in a four-leg bridle hitch, such as in this picture, only two legs of this hitch will carry the full load, and therefore the same calculations for safe working load for two-leg bridle hitch should be applied or should be applicable for four-leg bridle hitch. Since only two legs in the four-leg bridle hitch carrying the load, the other two legs are pretty much balancing the load. They carry no load. Therefore, the weight or safe working load calculation should be performed using only two legs, even in the four-leg bridle hitch. The reason why only two legs are carrying the load in the four-leg bridle hitch is that it's impossible to make all four legs of exactly the same length, and therefore only two legs will carry the load and two legs will balance the load.